All right, welcome back, everyone. This is again Frank DeMore, and today's January 13th, 2012. And if you're on my YouTube channel, please, I'd like to invite you to go over to my prophecy site. You can get there by BibleProphecyMan.com, where I list many other references connecting Bible prophecy and current events besides what I'm doing on the YouTube. Now, today I gave you one of my first two YouTubes. Channels or reports that I put up. Was one about what Barack Obama is doing with the nation, and the second one was the Antichrist system coming into effect. And then we're going down into this first one. I started to talk about wars that are going to take place, and I showed you Ezekiel or Psalm 83 war, which hasn't taken place, and also the Ezekiel war. And I gave you some information in this first video that is entitled Iran and Israel on War Footing. And so I'm going to continue on now with some articles that pertain to what's happening, and it's leading towards these wars that the Lord warned us about. Now, first of all, let me make this a little bit bigger for you so that you have no problem seeing it. This article says anti-U.S. chants as slain Iran nuclear expert is buried. And this obviously came out from Iran. And keep in mind the war that will be coming against Israel, the second war. Iran is going to be a major participant in that war that will be led by Russia. Okay, Iran isn't going to be the main component in the Ezekiel 38 war. Russia will be, but Iran will be playing a major part. It says thousands of mourners chanted death to Israel and death to America on Friday during the funeral of slain nuclear expert whom Iran officials accused the two nations of killing in a bomb blast this week as part of a secret operation to stop Iran's nuclear program. The assassination of Mustafa Mohammed Rushan has raised calls in Iran for retaliation against the U.S. in Israel. And an independent news website Friday said Iran is preparing for covert counter-offensive against the West. And so what is the most important part here? Well, it just shows you the tension between Iran, who was mentioned in Ezekiel chapter 38, and Israel, and also in Ezekiel chapter 38, is mounting. Now, the United States, when you read my book, and if you read Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39, you'll find out that the young lions of Tarshish are actually what we believe is the United States, Canada, and Australia. Now, Tarshish is Great Britain. Great Britain is the young lions, and the scriptures show us that the young lions of Tarshish, in other words, the nations who broke off from Great Britain, will be in the area, in the military people call them theater, when this war, Ezekiel war, breaks out, and the young lions will do nothing. And but so we're leading in that direction. Now let me head out to the next article, and again, let me blow it up. It'll just take me 1 second here if I can hold a straight line. I want to show you some other news that just came out. It says Iranian paper calls for retaliation against Israel. Again, what I'm trying to show you is this establishing the fact that the line drawn to war has been set down, and these nations, whether they believe it or not, they've been marching on this path to fulfill both the Psalm and the Ezekiel war. It says a hardline Iranian newspaper called Thursday for the retaliation against Israel a day after the mysterious killing of a nuclear scientist in Iran with a magnetic bomb attached to his car. Iran's top leader blamed, here you go, Israel. That's the connection, the exact nations that the Lord told us what was going to be involved in that Ezekiel war. It says provocative hints from Israel's reinforce the perception that the killing was part of an organized and clandestine campaign to set back Iran's nuclear ambitions, which the U.S. and its allies suspect are aimed at producing weapons. Iran says that the program is for peaceful purposes only. Well, if you read other news coming from Ahmadinejad, and as he stood before the UN, and he said it many different times that his goal was to wipe Israel out, and he'll have a chance to do that. And that chance will come. Obviously, it's going to come through this war right here when Iran is wiped out. Iran is going to be wiped out. Russia is going to be wiped out. Libya is going to be wiped out. All the nations who come against Israel in this war will be wiped out. But again, Iran is one of those major players in this war. And so there again, Tehran, or Iran, if you will, this is the capital. Iran is pointing to Israel, and they've been threatening Israel for the killing of this nuclear scientist. Now let me go on to the next article. Now I'm going to blow this up again for you so that you can see it a lot better. These are very important. I want you to grasp what was going on here. And as you can see, Russia says the military option against Iran is dangerous. Now, in Ezekiel, I'm going to constantly, go back to make sure that you understand. Magog is actually the Russian people. And you'll see down in my book, I show you who they are. Magog, Matesh, and Tubal comprise of modern-day Russia, who will, again, lead this war, right? Please keep that in mind. I want to make you understand that Russia and Iran are major players in this. And so don't be surprised that Russia is coming to the military aid, or is threatening or throwing up the red flag, whatever you want to say, about their ally Iran and what will happen. It says Brussels, the Russian ambassador at NATO, Dmitry Rogozin, speaking to a press in Brussels, said that the involving Iran in a military action due to its nuclear program would pose a direct threat to Russia's security. Iran, said Rogozin, in our neighbor is our neighbor, and should the country become involved in military operations, this would pose a threat to our security. Now, when you go into my book, which I didn't put up right here, but when you read that chapter on the attack on Israel, you'll see that the military people in Russia have warned and stated, blatantly stated, that any assault, any attack on Iran will be viewed as an assault or an attack on Russia. So this is where this prophecy again comes into play, because if Iran is attacked by Israel to make an attempt to wipe out their nuclear program, you can bet that Russia will come down, and it won't just be Russia, but it will actually be Libya and the rest of these countries who were prophesied in that prophecy. But I believe that this is going to be a while off, because we need to see the Psalm 83 war come into play first. And this is the reason why, is because this war takes place while they're actually calling for peace and safety, which they're doing right now. They have no peace and safety in Israel. But this war takes place at a time when they're living, where Israel thinks they're living in a peace and safety, and that will take some time. So let me continue on with the next article here. And this is, we're going off a little bit here. We were talking about the Ezekiel war. Now I'm going to refer again to the Psalm 83 war, because that war, as I just said, is going to happen when they're calling for peace and safety. And that's what we believe, because Paul in 1 Thessalonians 5:3 said when they're calling peace and safety, sudden destruction come upon as a woman travail with birth pangs. And we know that the peace process has been going just like a woman in labor and pain, on and off, on and off, on and off over years. Now this article talks about the new Egyptian government focuses on the Palestinian rights. I'll explain this in a second. It says, former U.S. President Jimmy Carter said Thursday after meeting Egypt's military rulers and political parties that he expected Egypt's new government to focus more than the previous leadership on the Palestinian rights as highlighted under the 1979 peace accords. This new government will probably be much more concerned about the rights of the Palestinians than have the previous rulers or leaders in Egypt. And then he goes on to say, but in my opinion, that will be conducive to a better prospect of peace between Israel and its neighbors. Now, Jimmy Carter he probably has never read the Psalm 83 war, because if he did, he would understand exactly what's going to happen. And but one thing that he did get correct here is there's no doubt that Egypt is going to take sides with the Palestinians, which they have already done. The Muslim Brotherhood is winning the elections. And this article, I believe, also, when you scroll down, it may even refer to the Muslim Brotherhood. I believe that it does. I've been reading so many of these articles. Maybe this isn't the one, but it definitely, when you read the Post, the Muslim Brotherhood have already indicated that they want to drop this peace agreement that was made between Egypt and Israel. Now, the reason why, if you're new again, you have to understand that Egypt, when you see Psalm 83, you're going to see that Egypt is numbered in the attack against Israel in the last days. All right? So if this is the first time you've come to my YouTube channel, just look on the left-hand side. You'll see the Old Testament names. You'll see Saudi Arabia, Moab, the present-day Palestinians, and then the Hagarites, or the Hagarenes. You'll see are the Egyptians. So when we read a statement by former President Jimmy Carter saying that Egypt is going to probably be concerned more with the Palestinians' rights, there's no question about that at all, because Egypt will be attacking Israel with the rest of those countries. And since the Muslim Brotherhood has already indicated that they want to close down this peace process, and then we know that that's exactly what will happen in the near future, because the Lord already showed us, give us an indications in it about what's going to happen in the last days. So with that, we just want to reflect on everything that is currently taking place. And you know, when you see articles that shows you these people, the same exact nations, over and over again, you know, Iran, Israel, Russia. This is not a coincidence. These are articles, this is the news, that if you're on the watch, you would know what's going to happen. Now, Jesus told us over and over again in many of the Gospels, keep on the watch. Keep on the watch. Now, why would he say that? Well, for those who really love Jesus, they know that if they knew the Scriptures, if they knew what was going to happen in the Scriptures, they would keep on the watch for events that would be leading to the Psalm 83 war. They would keep on the watch leading for chapter 38 and 39, that war that hasn't been fulfilled, and every other prophecy that hasn't been fulfilled, and especially in this generation, because this is the generation who we were told would see all of these things come to pass. And this is why there's so much tension being built up between Iran and Russia and Israel and the rest of these nations who border Israel. So please, keep on the watch. You're going to see Bible prophecy being fulfilled in the very near future. Don't be shocked when you see it.